Hello and welcome to episode 8 of Conversations with My Father.
That's me.
That's you. And we're doing 2 in one day today.
Are we?
We are. They won't know that, but we do. So that's fine. This is going out a week later. But we thought we'd do 2 in 1, which is it's quite something. And I hope you enjoyed episode 7. We went into talking about love and whatnot, and we was a relatively serious episode. We thought we'd lighten things up with this one and go into a kind of would I lie to you style episode.
Yes.
Quickly before that though, could you quickly point out
Just
roughly
about here
Yeah.
on your screens, you'll find a box which you should press or click on, if you'd be so kind, which will deliver a subscription.
Yes, people will then subscribe, which would be great. So if you're watching on YouTube, please
Just around here.
around there would be great. Hopefully that's worked. So the way this is going to work is we are going to be reading out three or four stories. Whether they're true or false, you'll have to wait, and you guys can kind of play along at home. Whether they're hopefully, as a lot of you have seen, Would I Lie to You? So some might be true, some might be false, and we're going to delve deeper into them. We're going to do a bit of
Rob Brydon.
Rob Brydon, lovely. And we're going to kind of go you go I go's format of
Yes.
going one at a time. So without further ado, would you like to kick us off?
I'm kicking off, am I?
I think you should kick us off.
Righto. Well, my first story concerns a summer holiday back in about 1981-82, where I shinned up a flagpole to release a Union Jack, and it was the day of Charles Windsor's wedding to Lady Diana Spencer.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
So do you want me to? I'll carry on.
Well, I need to. I'll ask you some questions.
Okay, you ask me some questions then.
So when you say shinned up,
Yes.
you're climbing a pole, the flag pole, which is what, rough diameter?
No, not quite as big as that.
Not quite as big as that. Okay. So kind of grip, and then with your legs and
That's it.
work your way up. How tall was the flagpole? How high are we talking?
The flagpole was in the region of 16 to 20 feet.
Right. Okay. And this was
And there
where?
were lots of them along the seafront, and we were sitting, having a coffee and a glass of wine and so on, overlooking the harbour on the island of Elba.
Elba. Right. Which is where?
Just off the northwest coast of what can only be described as Italy.
Italy. Elba. I've never heard of that.
Okay, well, it's
You with Mum and Dad?
No.
Sorry.
I was with William,
Ah.
Tricia,
Yeah.
Alex,
Yeah.
and a whole load of more
Okay.
who were staying there for a holiday, and we were just interrailing around Europe and spent 2 or 3 nights with
Right.
them.
So you saw that there was a flag that was just wrapped around the pole.
Yeah, I was flying along with lots of others.
Yeah, but noticeably it wasn't flying as well as the others.
No,
Hence
it was
why
flying.
you got up there.
No, I got up there because I wanted to be proud of being British.
To get a photo, or no cameras weren't around back in your day.
Not in the same way as they are now, no. But
Yeah.
I got it down. Do you carry on asking me questions?
Well, yeah. So you got it. You got the flag. You got the flag down.
Yes.
Oh, I see. So this is a form of vandalism, really.
Yes, really, it was.
How did you? Because from what I've seen of a flag being hoisted up a pole,
Yes.
is it's attached to a wire, either top and bottom of the flag, and it's pulled up. So I'm assuming they're quite hard to take off.
They're not as hard as you think.
Right. Okay. So just a clip and a clip.
Yeah, that sort of thing.
Right. And this was So just purely to come down and take a photo of you with not what other no, because you said there weren't cameras.
Oh, bring
around.
it back to the table and use it as a, well, not as a tablecloth, but as a memento of our time there.
So you stole the flag.
Well,
Were you
that
successful?
isn't all of the story, of course.
Oh, please go further.
Well, when I got down, there were a couple of carabinieri there who took me under their control and marched me off to the police station.
Right. So you were arrested. Carabinieri is an Italian police officer.
Yeah, polizia.
Polizia. Okay.
Yes. They may be traffic.
And you were arrested.
I don't know because my Italian was not that good.
Right. Okay.
But they were unimpressed.
Can you remember anything that they charged you with? Well, there must have been a breakdown in communication.
Yeah, there was a bit, but I was in custody, I suppose it was, for a couple of hours.
Really?
And then released.
And this was the beginning of holiday?
No, halfway through it.
Halfway through. Right. Okay. I mean, it sounds pretty plausible, but I'm just intrigued as to why you'd want to steal. You're not someone who. So this was early 80s.
Yes.
So you'd
81.
have been 20,
82.
22, 23?
Yeah, 23.
Yeah. So, and you've never been someone who's done much theft in your life.
No, that's absolutely correct.
So, and that is definitely a form of theft. Were you planning on putting it back? Were you just going to borrow it?
I think it would have been unkind of me just to walk off with it.
Yeah.
But I just wanted some sort of trophy to mark the occasion.
Right.
Charles and Diana getting married.
Yeah.
Let's have a Union Jack on the table.
Right. Charles. And they were married in 82,
82, I think it was, yes.
Right. Okay. So you were successful. You got the flag, came down.
Yes, and the Italian police then took it from me.
Yeah.
So I didn't come down quickly enough.
Oh, I see. Right. Okay. So you. Okay. Right.
Because I think some of the other tourists had alerted the police that there was a miscreant up one of their flagpoles.
Yeah.
And they ought to do something about it.
And why did you go up rather than the other people you were with?
I was the only one stupid enough to think it was a good idea.
Okay, right. I feel like I've heard enough.
Okay.
I mean, that's pretty plausible, that.
So,
but we're not going to decide whether that's true or false.
Not going to decide.
Yet.
Well, you can.
No, I'm not going to. I want to leave it till the end.
Okay.
Because then people as well can play along at home.
Righto.
So, my turn.
Yes.
So story number one is I have shoulder charged and at the same time floored Jonathan Ross. Jonathan Ross.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Was this a sporting event?
It was a charity event.
Right. Yeah. And was this an illegal move or part of a game?
I didn't eye him up and think, I've got him. I'm going to run at him and hit him. He's annoyed me this evening. No, it was a complete accident.
Oh.
Yeah.
So there's no referee involved?
No referee involved. No. It was a charity event that I ended up, shoulder charging him because I was waiting, I suppose, at the event, waitering.
Oh, being a waiter.
Yeah, and helping out, I suppose I was a little bit more than just a waiter, but I was helping out run the event
with security.
Well, security. He was one of the main guests. He was,
and you shoulder charged.
And I boshed him, and he ended up on the floor.
What happened to the meals that you were?
No, I wasn't carrying any meals at the time. So I think I was more doing drinks at the time. I was helping out. So this was during I was doing work experience.
Right, and presumably they didn't re-offer you the opportunity.
I was doing it for the Duke of Edinburgh. awards.
Oh, was he there? Oh, sorry, the awards.
The awards, yeah. And Jonathan Ross was, I believe, the compere for the evening.
Right.
And
Was he in fact the compere for the evening? Did he manage to recover?
He did. This was before he was comparing, and I basically was. I turned around too quickly, and he was suddenly there in his velvet jacket that he
very smart
often wears. Can't
Yes.
remember what colour it was, but it was probably a dark colour, dark red, I think. And yeah, I turned too quickly, and he ended up on the floor, and I then had to help him back up onto his feet, and I felt quite.
So you've decked.
I've decked
Jonathan Ross.
Jonathan Ross.
Well,
Yeah.
that in itself is impressive. I don't suppose many people have done that and got away with it.
No. I don't know if he. Wonder if he'd be watching. I highly doubt it. I wonder if he'd even remember. But
I doubt it.
No. But it's the sort of thing you might remember at an event. It's not often you get floored at a charity event.
No, it wouldn't have happened to him frequently, I wouldn't think.
No. But yeah, it was quite something, and I thought I'm going to remember this for a while.
Right. And with any other witnesses of?
There were plenty of people there. It was an event that was probably 150 odd people. It wasn't like the whole room went silent after it happened. It was
and then
just
someone shouted,
"Yeah,
fight!"
Yeah, exactly.
And all hell broke loose.
No, it was very much a kind of thing. Everyone was talking, having drinks and so on, and people sitting down for the table. He was coming through, and I just didn't see him. So it was before dinner.
Right.
But everyone was coming into the main room, which I believe was at the Ritz.
Oh,
I
really?
think it was the Ritz, yeah.
Well, that is quite
London,
something.
Yeah.
So, flooring Jonathan Ross.
Jonathan Ross, yeah. Quite unfortunate, that surname, given his inability to pronounce the R.
Well, I'm not sure that I'm going to be able to ask any more questions to help my cause.
Okay.
Would you like another one from me?
Yeah, go for it. That's one each, one apiece.
Yep. Right here. So my next one is we're going back even further now.
Okay.
Whereby I started learning to play the piano aged 4.
Yeah.
And I finished. Yes,
very young.
It was. I finished playing the piano at 16, having reached the lofty heights of grade 3. And every exam I took was just a pass. It wasn't merit or distinction. I just scraped through.
Yeah.
But when I was about 7, I was entered into a competition in Cambridge, in the Guildhall, I think it was. And I played a piece of music, and can't remember what it was, but I won a cup.
Okay.
For it.
Right. Okay. Sorry, you were how old at the time?
About 7.
7.
Yeah.
Guildhall.
Yes.
Right. So you'd have been at King's
Primary school.
Pre-King's.
Yeah.
7. Right. What was the school you were at?
At that point, it was St. Colet's.
St. Colet's. Okay. And was the cup for people that were pretty average?
How dare you?
But you
pretty
were very
average.
Well, you were. You just said you were very average.
Oh, but at
playing
the age
piano.
of 6 or 7, playing this piece for people at my stage. So I was competing against boys and girls who were at a similar level.
Okay.
No matter, I mean, there could have been people aged 12, 13.
Right.
I can't remember.
Yeah.
I just went up, sat at the piano, waited for the judges to say, go ahead.
Yeah.
And I went ahead.
Okay.
And finished, and I was so relieved.
Were you happy with your performance? You must have been if you...
I was just happy to have got through it.
Yeah.
And...
Are you at a level where you were using the feet pedals as well?
No.
No.
I don't think there were any pedal movements in that particular piece.
Okay.
But then the judges at the end of it read out their results, and I'd won.
Christopher Ray in first.
Yes.
Wow.
Wonderful.
Well, I mean, I know that you are a very good pianist when you want to be.
Well,
You are naturally. I think well, you haven't done it in a while, but you can pick it up very quickly.
it's very nice for you to say so.
But I remember you saying that you've also only got to grade 3.
Yes.
Very similar to myself and playing the guitar.
Guitar, yes, that's
so
true.
I did 9 years of guitar and only got to grade 3.
Yes.
But I did get a merits in all of mine.
Well, very good.
But I was
I think
very
you've
average.
probably taken your musicality
To its limit.
from your father. So
You know, I think mum can perform.
yes, she certainly
Singing,
can.
she's all right.
Singing and playing the flute.
Yeah. But back to you. Okay, so you won a cup, and this was a
It was about that big.
good size. Did you hold
Yes,
it
Mum-
aloft?
No, and I didn't kiss it or bite it to
Did you
see
do it-
that.
And you didn't do a kind of, I'd like to thank my parents, and a
No, none of that.
big speech at the end.
No, Mum was overjoyed
Yeah.
that.
So she was in the audience.
Yes.
Right. Dad wasn't there?
No, he was working
Okay.
as you had to in those days, and he had no inkling that I was going to win it. Neither did I, to be honest.
But so this would have been in the performance in the afternoon then, rather than in the
Morning,
evening.
I think, but I'm
Oh,
not sure
morning.
that
No, okay. But
has any
often
bearing on whether it's true or not.
no, but often I think of a musical performance where you're going to win something as something you maybe do in the evening,
Yes, well,
where parents can come along and watch.
I didn't make that observation to the judges.
Why have you done it this time?
I'm barely awake.
Just finishing your bowl of Frosties. Okay, I can believe that. Whether, because I do think you're quite handy at playing the piano,
Tinkling the ivories.
tinkling the ivories. So I can see that being true, but then also I can see that being just
Bollocks.
just fabric complete bollocks. Okay.
Your go at number 2.
Numero dos for me. I've walked in on a friend's parents fornicating
Oh, God.
during a birthday party.
Oh, no. You know I don't like these bloody sexual ones.
Well, where to start?
Well,
I won't name them, obviously.
this is back to Netflix and chill, isn't it? Which I didn't particularly enjoy. Anyway, right, where was this? At a friend's
This
house?
it was up in Cambridge, I believe, roughly, Cambridgeshire, up that way.
Yes.
And it was for a friend's, I'm going to say 18th.
Right.
I think it was. And it was a free bar situation, and which, as when you're 18, you make the most of, you enjoy. And I befriended the barman, who was, I can't remember, I think he was called Graham. I don't know why I remember that, but I think he was called Graham. Not addition to the story.
Right.
But he was supplying me with quite a lot of alcohol, which led me to getting very drunk. And when you go to these parties when you're 18, I just passed my driving test, or I was 17 when I passed. So I drove up to Cambridge and parked my car in the field with the plan of sleeping in my car.
Yes, this was the Fiat Seicento.
This wasn't actually. This was post Seicento. So I think it was the new Polo that we'd got.
Right.
I think.
Okay.
So I seem to remember. Yeah, I think it was that. Anyway, so my plan was to find the car or in the field.
Yes.
But I think deep down I was like, I don't want to sleep in my car. It's quite cold, so let's try and find a room inside in the
Yes.
house. So I went about trying to find a room in the house, and I was stumbling around, and I walked in on one room and actually started to kind of nestle down into into a sleeping position.
Yes.
When I then heard the voices of my friend's parents saying, "Who the F is that? Get out." And I'd heard some ruffling of the sheets, let's say. And
Where were you? Had you joined them in the bed, or were you on the floor?
I was on the floor thinking that I'd got the room to myself.
Yes.
That was where I was going with it. And obviously I was quite well refreshed, should we say, alcoholically. So I just thought, right, this will do. I'm gonna stay here, and I ended up then being quite sternly told to leave, quite rightly so as well. And I then ended up sleeping back in my car.
Okay, and when you'd gone into the room, you say the parents were fornicating.
Well, I
How
believe
do you know that?
I didn't ask them the day after. Were you enjoying yourselves?
On the job?
No, I put two and two together.
Right.
Let's say.
So there may not have been fornicating.
They may not
at
have
all.
been, but that's what I believed them to be doing.
Right.
And I was very, very swiftly told to exit the room.
Yes.
And was told, why the hell have you come in here? So that was my.
And whose party was it?
A girl called Hannah.
Right.
That's all
was
I'm
she at
gonna say.
Benenden?
No, she wasn't. She wasn't at Benenden. She was a friend of a friend, let's say.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not quite so persuaded by that one, but
Okay. So that's numero deux.
Okay.
Dos.
Well, I'll go on to number 3.
Do.
And this one also involves the police, although this time there were English police of the Warwickshire Constabulary.
Where you were at uni.
Yes, and in this instance, I, for some strange reason, felt the need to take the air out of a police car's tyres. And I used a tyre pressure gauge to do that, and I was very refreshed, has to be said.
Okay. So you'd have been 20?
Yeah, 21,
2021?
21, 22.
Yeah.
And I'd been invited to a party by Andrew in the pump rooms in Leamington Spa.
The pump rooms?
Yes.
That was a place?
It was.
Right.
Party venue. And I had this tyre pressure gauge in my pocket.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, I'll pop outside and see if there are any police cars around.
You had a tyre pressure gauge in your pocket?
Yes, I'd put it there with the specific intention of deflating the tyres of a police car.
You went out, so you were pre-drinking, let's say, at a house, and you thought, I'm going to be disruptive tonight.
Very strange.
There's quite a lot of planning going into that.
Yes, but I felt aggrieved because they'd given me a ticket for parking on the side of the road for 2 minutes.
Right.
Where there were double white lines in the middle of the road.
The police had given you a ticket?
Yeah, they had. Anyway,
right.
This particular police car was bang outside Leamington Spa police station.
Yeah.
And the mate I was with, who was my lookout, he said, Chris, I think we ought to go. And I said, wait till they're at the steps and then we'll head off. And he said, they are. They're at the bottom of the steps running this way. So we then split up and legged it.
Yeah.
And I don't think I've ever covered a distance of about 400 yards so fast, because if you're doing it as an athletic pursuit, you tend to be able to, or you tend to keep some energy left for the last 100 yards.
Yeah, but
this time, as I was being pursued, I was going as fast as I possibly could all the time.
Yeah.
And I got away and made it back to the pump rooms, and my mate.
The irony of this place being called the pump room after you deflating
Yes,
a tyre.
that's true. I'd never thought of that. Anyway, Andrew was standing outside, and I said, and he could see a policeman now well behind me.
Right.
So I'd made good my retreat, and I thought I'll go in here,
Yeah.
rejoin the party. Everyone's in black
Hide
tie.
in plain sight, effectively.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm fine. I've made good my escape. And then 5 minutes later, he said, I don't know what you've done, but there are 2 or 3 police cars outside now, and they're going to announce your name over the disco. I thought, oh, I don't want that.
Announce
So-
your name? How did they know it was...
Ah, my mate, Simon, had been caught. He wasn't as fleet of
He
foot.
dobbed you in?
He dobbed me in, yes.
Bastard.
Sorry, Simon, if you're watching. This was a very long time ago, and everything is forgiven. But anyway, I was not arrested, but I was given a stern talking to by the
Slap on the wrist.
superintendent in the police station and let go. So that's 2 stories, and I'm involved with the police. In
You have, yeah. You've spent a bit of time in custody.
yes.
Yeah. Okay. I'm trying to understand though why you take a deflator, effectively a pump.
Yes.
So you attach it and just let the like you do with a bike pump, and you just allow the
Well, it
air
was
to come out.
a piece of kit, and you attached it. You just pushed it onto the valve,
yeah.
and it would tell you what the tyre pressure was.
Yeah.
But what appalled me was the noise that it made as the air was coming out.
Yeah.
Terrible racket.
Yeah. Very unsubtle. Should we go for?
Yes.
So that's what you reckon the police heard.
Oh, very much they heard that. Yes, and came.
And you
up.
were successful. How many tyres had you deflated before?
I hadn't deflated any.
Oh, right.
Because the noise was so loud.
So, and I'm assuming when they came into
The party.
to the
venue.
party, the pump room,
Yes.
pump house, whatever it's called, they said, Chris Ray, you're wanted for deflating our tyres.
I went out and gave myself up.
Did you?
So this is a fair cop.
Cuff me, officer.
This is a fair cop, Gov.
Yeah.
And off I went.
You didn't want to be on the tannoy?
No,
No.
no, I did not.
Okay. I've never known you to be someone to be, reckless and kind of verging on the side of what should I say? I don't know. Being arrested, I suppose.
Yes, the wrong side of the
The
law.
wrong side of the law. Yeah.
Mm.
Okay. Right. Well, I'll
Bear that in
I'll
mind.
bear that in mind. All right. So so far you've scaled a flagpole.
Yes.
You've got. Oh no, that's. Oh, I can't remember the second one. What's the second one?
The music cup.
Music cup and arrested for deflating tyres.
Yes.
Okay. Number 3 for me.
Yeah.
I was asked to provide a voiceover for a Welsh TV show.
Were you?
Mm.
How old were you at the time?
Well, I would have been at uni, so I was, 2020, 2021?
And
roughly.
why were you asked to do this?
So I'd been on a night out and was doing some silly voices and so on. And I thought I did quite a good impression of the lottery man's voice. Time to release those big money balls. Number 43. That sort of voiceover.
Yes.
With Dale Winton, who was often the lottery
Yes.
man.
Yeah.
And then that big voice would come down announcing the numbers.
Let's release those balls.
Big money balls. Number 4. And the bonus ball. Number 1. So I was doing a bit of this on a night out.
Yes.
And I got very into it. And there was a uni student there who at the time thought I was very good and was like, one of my friends has a TV show that they're wanting voiceovers for. So they were doing I suppose it was a animated TV show, and they were looking for a voice for a character, and they thought I fitted the bill.
And what was your character?
Character was like I suppose like a cuddly tiger type thing.
Right. And did you record any episodes?
So we went to the recording studio, and I started. I can't remember some of my lines. They were. I had to. It was. I think he really liked my kind of the lottery voice. So I kind of went along with that. I think that's what they were looking for, that kind of style, I suppose, because my character was someone who was quite
Good at
Quite.
reading lottery numbers.
That's all they wanted from the tiger, yeah. Number 4. So they wanted a few lines for I suppose this series that they were doing, to see if I would get through. They were trialing me out effectively.
Yes.
So I went to this recording studio in Swansea, where I was at uni, and we did some recording, and yeah, I managed to kind of, I suppose, get through the first round. But then the actual TV show itself, it was a kind of a really very average Welsh kids TV, I suppose the equivalent of CBBS.
Yes.
That sort of thing. And then I got to the final 2 or 3 people, because they were whittling it down, and I sadly didn't quite make the cut. But I was in a pre-recorded series which is on YouTube.
Right.
Yeah.
When you say you were in it.
Well, my character was there and my voice is in it.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
And what other accents were you able to?
Well,
wow
I
them
suppose they wanted a hint of Welsh, so it was a little bit harder. So I think that's what, when we were on the night out, and I was, as I said, quite drunk at the time, which always makes you think you're better than you are.
Yes.
So I suppose a little bit like that. Time to release those big money balls. That sort of thing. So I would, again...
Did you have a microphone in it? Was there some sort of...
No, it was just we were chatting. We just, sit at a bar. There were 6 or 7 of us, my housemates there as well.
Right.
And we got chatting to this person. So yeah, that's my other story. Any other questions on it?
I don't think there are really.
No.
But you've certainly added considerable verisimilitude to an otherwise bald...
Verisimilitude?
Verisimilitude to an otherwise bald and unconvincing tale.
There you go. That's a
right.
sentence, didn't it? Come out of your mouth.
Right, my last one.
Yeah, I suppose fourth and final. Should we call it?
Fourth and final was again at... I say again. Yes, I was at Warwick University.
Arrested again.
Police not involved.
Okay.
I was trying to find a mate one Saturday evening, and it was in the summer term. We had summer terms in those days, late 70s, early 80s, and I think I was looking for him in a new bar which had opened.
Okay.
And it was a converted barn.
So just
and
got rid of the N then.
Yes.
Bar.
And I'd never been in it before, but I thought, well, actually, this looks rather nice. I'm here. I'll pop in.
Yeah.
And see if I can see my mate.
Yeah.
I can't remember who it was, but anyway, the side of the building was all glass.
Okay.
And then at the end of the glass wall was the door to the bar, which was closed.
Let's see where this is going. Okay.
And
did you make contact with a glass?
I could hear quite clearly people talking. And because the glass was, the building was brand new, the glass was very clean.
Right.
And I could see that there was a step up. So I was sort of pushing on to get in, and I thought, well, I'll make a lively entrance. So I sort of took off, And the first thing I was aware of was a very loud
Bang.
clang where my head hit the glass wall.
Yeah.
And I thought, what the hell is that?
Yeah.
And I staggered back. And pretty much everyone
Yeah.
in the bar had seen me approaching because the outside was well
Here comes another
illuminated.
one. Yeah.
And their eyes were on me.
Yeah.
And as I was staggering around trying to work out what had happened, I was supposed like a blue bottle trying to get out of a window from a house. I was staggering around, and they all started cheering and clapping.
Yeah.
And I thought, oh no, I can't just walk away from this now. I've got to go in there
Could try again.
and pay my respects.
Yeah.
So I did, and everyone stood up and applauded.
Because it would be weird had you just turned away and walked off.
Yes, it was. So I really alerted everyone in the room.
Yeah. No crack to the glass?
No, or to me, mercifully, because
Yeah.
I hit it pretty much with my forehead.
Right. Bang.
But it really is very strange.
You took off,
sensation.
though.
Yeah, trying to get in just to make an energetic entrance.
Ta-da, I'm here.
But that sort of thing.
Into a bar full of people you don't know.
Yes. But I was happy.
Yeah. What was your? Had the glass not been there, and you'd gone through, what would you have done?
I'd have carried on walking with a jaunty aspect and carried on looking for my mate.
Okay, so I have actually run into glass before.
Yes, I know.
You know that
Yes,
story,
I do.
and I've shattered it. I've shattered a bus stop glass,
Yes.
and it's not enjoyable. And I know exactly what you mean by it being a big bang, and it's obviously incredibly surprising because it's not. You don't expect it to be there.
The difference between us was that I wasn't over refreshed at this.
You were completely sober.
Yes.
Right. Even worse.
Yes.
I'm surprised that the glass didn't shatter because that's
Well,
quite a
thank
big.
God it didn't.
Yeah, because that would have been very embarrassing.
Right, heard enough?
No, well, you. This was again. So roughly, what sort of age were you?
22, 21, 22.
Okay, there's a lot happening at that sort of age for both of us.
Yes.
I mean, I quite like the idea of that being true, just from an embarrassment perspective.
Right.
Mum's done it as well before, hasn't she?
Has she?
Well, do you remember that time? I think we were away, and she walked into glass when she saw a frog or something in Australia. I think it was.
Oh, I don't remember
I think
that
so.
anyway.
Maybe that's bollocks. Okay. My final one.
Yes.
I was given a red card by a referee who I later hooked up with that night.
Good God. So when you say hooked up with, you mean
we
shook? Was it a him or a her?
it was a lady. It was a female
Who'd given you a
referee.
red card?
She'd given me a red card.
What was your indiscretion?
One of the worst tackles I've ever made, without a doubt, shadow of a doubt. So I was playing centre back, and ball came over, and it was that awful thing where the ball bounces and it's rising, and you've committed to kicking it with your foot when you should really probably challenge with your head.
Yes.
But I'd committed to my foot going up there to meet the ball.
Yes.
And instead of meeting the ball, I met someone's face.
Right.
So I full on studded someone in the face.
Yes.
And it was, I remember it was right, like I can feel it now. And it was too late to pull out, and I almost took myself off. I was appalled by the challenge. Luckily, the guy was okay, but she came over and said, Fred, I can only really give you a red card for that challenge.
Right. So you knew her. If she knew your name,
Yes.
you knew her.
Yes.
Is this, do you think, something that pressed her buttons, the fact that you could be such a ruffian.
What, in Karate Kicker, a football player?
Well,
It may well have done. It may well have done. But we then saw each other on the night out. So it was Wednesday. We'd have, they were kind of match days, and then you'd often have a big night out, social night on a Wednesday.
yes,
And yeah, we then got chatting again. It was a very easy icebreaker, let's say.
yes.
The fact that I had done that, and yeah, we ended up kissing.
Okay, so that, sorry, everybody, I struggle with some of the
That's what I meant by, yeah. I
implications
didn't
of
want to give any more. That was
further
what
details.
happened. Yeah,
Right,
yeah.
okay. And were you suspended from subsequent
I was given.
matches?
I think I was given a match or two ban. I can't remember the policy there, but it was, yeah, it was. Again, I'd been 19, 20, yeah, 19 or 20, and it was quite. I think the league we were playing in, I feel like there was a match or two ban, something like that. It wasn't drastic.
Okay.
I wasn't fined or anything.
No.
But it was that was I think that was the first time I'd ever been given a straight red.
Yes. Yes.
So
An only time?
I think so. I've been given other red cards, but there have been 2 yellows. But I think
Oh,
of it
really?
as a straight red. I haven't been carded that much, but I think I was quite a fair player. But this time I pretty much gave myself a red card. It was awful.
Yes.
Really
was
bad.
the chap with the forward from the other side?
He was
okay,
He was
or-
okay. Yeah, I think so. I mean, I checked in with him, and he seemed all right, and he was quite flustered, understandably so.
Yes.
And then I pretty much
Trotted off.
yeah, I was like, right, that's my game done. Was shown the red, and that was it.
Right.
There we
Well,
go.
There we are. That's all 8.
That is 8 that we have been through. So just a quick reminder before we get going with what's true and what's not. Your first one, Italian flag. Well, Italy flag, GB flag, nicking it and being arrested. Then music cup.
Yes.
Then another arresting from the
Yeah.
pump
Leamington
house.
Spa. Yeah. Pump rooms.
Pump room. And then your final one, which I've now forgotten.
Walking into a window.
Walking into a window, that's it. Yeah. So should we go through one by one again, which was true, which was false?
Yes.
So we'll go. I'll choose whether your first one was true or false, and then you do the same with mine.
Okie dokie.
I think your story number 1 of the Italian flag
Flagpole.
using it as a tablecloth and so on. I can't see you personally making that story up, really. I know you've been to Italy, and it's the sort of thing that you would do back then, that age, and I think you did some interesting things. So I'm going to go true with that.
Right. Are we going to reveal the answers now?
If you'd like, I think so.
Okay. That one was a false.
Was it?
Yes.
Very good story. You played that very nicely. Is it a fabrication of? Is it like a story that were you in Italy and your friend climbed the pole? Or,
Yes.
Right. Okay. So you've just altered.
Yes.
I think because there was quite a lot of details in that where I thought there were.
Oh, I was
there
there
was
as
some
a
truth.
witness.
Right. Okay. Right. We'll see if. Hopefully you guys got that right at home. I didn't. That shows. But
No.
what I like about this though is that I feel like I know you very well, and you
Yes.
know me very well. But I think we've done quite well in not really hearing any of these stories before. I'd like to
Righty-ho.
think anyway.
Now the next one, your first one.
My first one.
I can't read my writing.
Shoulder charging Jonathan Wass.
Oh yes, Flooring Ross.
Yeah. Is that what you put down?
Yes.
Flooring Ross, yeah.
It's a really good story, that, and I'd love it to be to be true.
Okay.
But I don't think I would not have heard about it. So I think you've made that up and it's false.
Okay. That is true. Oh God. So we both missed the trick there. Yeah, that is true. I did knock over Jonathan Ross at a Duke of Edinburgh Awards charity event at the Ritz.
Oh, many congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
So my
Jonathan,
next
if you're watching, I'm very sorry. He definitely won't be. Number 2, your cup winning.
Yes, music cup.
I'm going to go true.
Yes, that is true, actually.
Good. Right.
Well done.
1-0. Friends, parents having some fun. What are we saying?
I think that is a lie.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's true.
Oh no.
That is true, or certainly as the way I remember it to be true. But I was obviously very drunk, so that is a true story, I'm afraid. Your third one, tyres. I'm going to go true.
Yes.
It was.
Yes.
I feel like you had to. If there were 2 arresting stories, one of them had to be true. My next one, voiceover.
Oh yes.
Go on.
I think that is a lie.
Yeah, it is bollocks, complete bollocks. That. So there we go. Completely made up. No kind of
no reality
truth
to that at all.
No.
And then walking into the window at the.
I'm going to go true.
Yes, it is.
Good. So I've got 3 from 4.
You've taken an unassailable lead.
Look at that. And then my last one, red card.
5, bad tackle.
Yeah.
And getting it on with the referee.
Yeah.
I wouldn't put that past you, and I think that's probably a true.
It is true. It is indeed true, and one of the worst challenges I've ever made. So I apologise to the poor boy who it was. So there we go. It was. Well, so I've got 3, and you got.
No, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I've got 3.
Oh, I see. Yeah, because you gave me a point for getting, or you not getting one right.
Yes.
There we go. Well done. That was enjoyable.
Thank you very much.
I hope you guys enjoyed that too, and got more right than we did. But yeah, it's a lot of fun doing it, and it's a fun game to play. So, should we wrap that?
Yeah, we can do.
Fantastic. So that is episode 8 over and out. Thank you so much for watching once again. Please do subscribe. Click that little button there if you're watching on YouTube, and like, share, comment, the works. We really appreciate all your support. And there you go.
And we will see you again. Where are we?
9.
February. We probably early March.
No, we'll get one out again.
Another one in late
definitely,
Feb.
Definitely.
Okie dokie. We will see you then.
That's it.
Yeah, that is it.
Episode 8 over and out. Well done. Fantastic. Bosh. Bosh.
Bosharoo.